Well, hey everybody, it's Nathan.
And Steven.
And we are here again. You saw us last time for when we talked about the Golden Globes, and I actually didn't get a chance to tally up whether or not who won what.
I lost.
All I know is we both lost. The thing is, we didn't guess a lot of the things. There was a few things like A Star is Born that I predicted a lot more wins, and I didn't see that.
Yeah. And which may change on this.
May change on this, but yeah, now we're to the Oscars now, yes. And so this is the biggest night in Hollywood. This is the 91st Academy Awards, and so we're going to be just literally going through each and every one of these categories, what we think we want to win, and then what we think the Academy will actually pick themselves. So, Steven, you want to tell us the first category?
Yes, the first one coming up is visual effects.
And what are the nominees for that?
There are 5 nominees. You have Avengers Infinity War, Christopher Robin, First Man, Ready Player One, and Solo, A Star Wars Story.
Those are all very visually appealing films.
Yes.
And I think they're all definitely good contenders for winning this award.
Absolutely.
So what do you think? What do you want to win? Who do you want to win?
I would like to see Ready Player One win on this one. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was great. It's a Steven Spielberg picture, and I thought that visually it was pretty nicely done. I enjoyed watching it.
It's definitely one of those popcorn movies that
yes.
I thought was really good, and it's visually definitely really just how it was animated was really great, and despite, even though, like, it's just, like I said, a popcorn film, I shut my brain off most of the time. Just references to and nostalgic for a lot of things. And so, but I thought it was really well done visually. Absolutely. The movie that I want to win here is actually Christopher Robin. Awesome. I love this movie. It made me feel nostalgic, and I thought they visually got it really well. Nice translation between animated and real life. And I thought it was just really well done there. Yeah,
great story, but definitely visually appealing. Sometimes you worry about it because it started out as the cartoon characters and then the carryover using effects. So the way they did it was well done.
Yeah. So who do you think will actually win this?
I think that Christopher Robin. I actually chose that as the winner for the award.
Now, as much as I love it, I don't think it'll actually win. This, I think, will go to 2 movies that I have here, and I'm going to decide and choose one, because I don't want to make sure that, I just be like, it's between these 2, but, like, not choose. But I think it's honestly between First Man and Avengers Infinity War. Yeah. And both of these movies were visually stunning. First Man was a really great film that Damien Chazelle crafted with Ryan Gosling, and I thought the visuals were really great for its particular role. And so I honestly foresee the Academy possibly picking this one. And then there's also Avengers Infinity War, which is just a gorgeous film, and I honestly think, as much as Steven likes Black Panther, I think it was the better on the visuals, at least, because there's some scenes in Black Panther that were a little bit like, you have a lot of money, what are you doing? But Infinity War, I thought visually was just very compelling and just really great. I want Christopher Robin to win. I really do. I
think it actually may have a chance. I don't know if it actually will, but I think that it may be one of those shake-up awards.
Yeah. Well, we'll see who wins that. So I guess I said I'll choose 2. I think First Man is the Academy pick, and I think my pick's Christopher Robin, and you have
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One is your favorite pick, and Christopher Robin might win. All right, so let's go up to the next. We have costume design. So we have the nominees for this are The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and that is Mary Zophers. I'm probably mispronouncing all these names. Black Panther, we have Ruth E. Carter. We have The Favorite with Sandy Powell. We have Mary Poppins Returns with Sandy Powell, so she's there for twice, 2 things. And then we have Mary Queen of Scots with Alexandra Byrne. So I think my pick for the one that I want to win, and is the one that I think should win, and we both have different picks here, I see. Yes. So I'm going to talk about it differently. But I honestly think that The Favorite is, this is always a category that picks really lavish kind of European picks. And honestly, I know Steven and I both really love The Favorite quite a bit, and I thought that would be a really great choice. And I honestly think the Academy will probably either play it safe or go the direction I see that you are looking at. What are you thinking?
Any category where Black Panther is listed, I pretty much have chosen it. But this one is special because there is a first. Black Panther's being nominated, and I tried to do a little bit of what's happening on this one. But this is kind of a unique situation where a superhero movie finally made it into this category.
It's the first time you'll ever see this.
Which is actually pretty awesome. Just for a genre that has people dressed up in costumes all the time, we're finally seeing nominated. So I think it would be great to see this film. I actually picked it as the one that both my favorite, but the one that I think will win.
Yeah, I think that's a really safe bet. Honestly, I think it could go either the way I'm describing it, with like maybe the more traditional Oscars kind of pick, where there's always going to win if you have like some kind of just old costume, old setup with nice dresses and fancy wigs and all that stuff. But you can definitely go the direction that the Academy is definitely trying to push for. This new blood that's really good.
Absolutely.
And just it's beautiful. And so honestly, we're excited either way. Honestly, of this direction. So you want to talk about the next category?
Yeah, on this one there's only 3 nominated. This is for the Oscar for makeup and hair. The nominees are Border, Mary Queen of Scots, and Vice.
So it looks like yours is also simultaneous,
and
same thing.
I was going to say, just tying into the last one, the same thing you were saying about that kind of traditional look. That was the very reason I chose Mary Queen of Scots for makeup and hair. I figured that it may have the biggest chance out of all of them and actually be rewarded for it. I mean, it's a timepiece, and so a lot of effort went into this film.
Yeah, you haven't seen it yet, though, have you?
I have seen it.
You have seen it.
It was good.
I enjoyed it, too. Yeah,
it was really good.
Okay, that's good that Steve and I have both seen this movie. I had a fun time with this movie, too.
Yes.
It definitely felt like it was really well acted, and the costumes were definitely, and the makeup, especially, why am I blanking on her name? Not Saoirse Ronan, but on Margot Robbie.
Yes.
Where just as the English Queen was just phenomenal, and was just really great. And so I honestly think that could go that way. But that was my favorite for that particular moment. But I think the Oscars is going to pick Vice. I think they're going to pick Vice because Christian Bale's he blended into that role, and I honestly think that the Vice, I don't think, is going to win very many other rounds at all. I don't really think this movie really belongs here as much as a lot of people are probably putting it up to be, but I think that, especially for this particular spot with makeup and hair, you can see Christian Bale just blended into Dick Cheney and became that person. And so that's where I kind of see the Academy possibly picking that.
I agree. I mean, I saw the trailer. I remember the very first time, and I saw, kind of his appearance as Dick Cheney, and I did think it was a great job, so I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, let's move on from there to a really big one. We have Original Song. And so we have All the Stars, so from Black Panther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. We have All Fight from RBG by Diane Warren and Jennifer Hudson. We have The Place Where Lost Things Go from Mary Poppins Returns by Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman. We have Shallow from A Star Is Born by Lady Gaga, Mark Ronson, Anthony Rosmando, Andrew Wyatt, and Benjamin Rice. And then finally we have When a Cowboy Trades His Spurs for Wings from The Ballad of Buster Scruggs by David Rawlings and Gillian Welch. I love Gillian Welch, by the way. I like to just point that out. And I also love Kendrick and SZA. And there's a lot of really great artists in here you'd normally not see in a film category. Absolutely. So my pick for my particular spot, I think, is also my favorite in this particular category. I've checked out all these songs. I've watched all of these movies except for RBG. I haven't seen that one. But the one that I liked the most, and I think it has a little bit more weight, is A Star Is Born, Shallow. I know that it's the one that won for the Golden Globe, and so I think going in, I think that's possibly my favorite song here, even though I really love the Buster Scruggs song, and I also really like Black Panther's All the Stars with Kendrick and SZA. But I think that's my choice, particularly. What's your favorite?
Okay, so my favorite for this category goes to Black Panther. Kendrick and SZA's hit, it was definitely one that lasted for several months on the radio, as well as just got critical praise for being a great song. So I think it would be great to see it win. It did not win in the other award shows, so maybe this is the moment. I'm hoping. And the one that I think will win is Shallow.
Yeah,
It picked up the Golden Globe, so I think it has momentum to pick up the Oscar again. And most likely, I mean, it's a music movie. It makes sense.
And honestly, kind of piggybacking on what Steven's saying, I think that's where the Oscar's going. It's honestly going between those two songs. I think it's safe to say that Shallow has it from A Star Is Born, but I think the other idea it could go is definitely the Black Panther route there, and I think it's definitely between those two songs. Absolutely. So that's our pick on original song. Now we're moving on to another musical category, original score. Tell us those nominations.
All right, we have several nominated here: Black Klansman, Terrence Blanchard; Black Panther, Ludwig Göransson; If Beale Street Could Talk, Nicholas Britell; Isle of Dogs, Alexandra Desplat; and Mary Poppins Returns, Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman.
So,
I want to win Black Panther again. I enjoyed the music and the movie as well, so I think that would be a great moment again for this movie, just in case it does not win Best Picture. And then If Beale Street Could Talk is the one that I have set to win.
Yeah.
It is from the preview to the commercials, everything you hear it. And you know the movie's coming, and it's a great movie. So it's like a great movie with a great score, great contender.
I'm going to say the same thing that Steven's saying. We both watched Beale Street together.
Yeah.
And holy shit, I just love this score. This so much. And it's my favorite. It's my favorite, and I honestly think it's the one that the Oscars is going to pick. Barry Jenkins is criminally underrated in these categories. We'll talk a little bit more about that. He's not in very many places in the Oscars, which is really weird. And we'll get to that later. But I honestly really think that the score by Nicholas Britell was just so invoking of what was happening on the screen, and I absolutely loved it. And that's the key word is loved, because that's what that movie's all about, is love. And you can definitely tell that they mixed the time period with the music.
And it's one of those films where the score actually is telling the story. You can feel it in the music of what's going to happen, what's it about. So I think it's just a perfect pairing, and that's the reason why it should win.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to production design. So we have a few more things here. We have Black Panther, who Hannah Beachler did that. We have First Man, Nathan Crowley and Kathy Lucas. We have The Favorite, Fiona Crombie and Alice Felton. Mary Poppins Returns for John Meyer and Gordon Sim, and Roma with Eugenio Cabarrillo and Barbara Enriquez. I'm probably just mispronounced all those names. I apologize for that if any of you just downvote this video just for that particular thing. But for production design, the thing that I think should win for this movie is Roma. I really just loved how well everything was set up. And I really love how Alfonso Cuarón just used the naturalistic setting of Mexico City and all the other places that are shot in Mexico. These gorgeous locations. But the film that I think actually might win this one is First Man. And when I say that is because, space films always do really, really well in the Oscars. And I honestly think the Academy really loved Damien Chazelle when he did La La Land. His production designs are always great. And so I couldn't see this not going to him. And I honestly, I guess for Nathan Crowley and Kathy Lucas, who did the production design here. So I think First Man actually has a really good chance here. So that's who I think the Academy will win. So who do you think is your favorite, and who do you think will win?
Once again, Black Panther is my choice for this. I am trying my best to get a win here for this movie before the Oscar night is over. Again, I just love the movie. I could watch it over and over, so I enjoyed the production as well. I think the contender that might win is Mary Poppins here. It's been getting a lot of praise. People enjoyed it. Not too much a buzz at the Golden Globes, but I think this may be the moment for this movie. I don't think the Oscar night will end without Mary Poppins getting a win. This one might be it.
So as you can see from that one we were on a completely different polar ends on that one. So that's good. And that means we're going to have a good tally at the end of this and see who actually wins. We'll actually probably try to count it up and figure it out ourselves.
Yes.
All right, so we're moving right along to sound mixing. So I've always had an issue with sound editing and sound mixing. I always switch these. So we're going to talk about sound mixing first. We have Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, First Man, Roma, and A Star is Born. I'm going to go ahead and let you tell me what your picks are here.
I'm going for Black Panther on sound mixing. My favorite, but I think A Star is Born will get this one again because of the well done production when it comes to a movie with music.
And I'm going to go ahead and piggyback off that and say A Star is Born is my favorite, particularly right here, and I honestly think the Academy will pick A Star is Born here as too. Just from the opening shot with Bradley Cooper on that stage, I can just tell that this film was very executed, like just really, really well, and I can tell the people who put it all together really did mess with the sound quite a bit, and I think that's what Star is Born is going to win in this category.
Yes.
So I think it's a good one. So let's move on to another sound thing.
All right, this one is sound editing, and the nominees are Black Panther, Benjamin Burt and Steve Bodecker, Bohemian Rhapsody with John Warhurst, First Man, Ang Lee, Mildred Yatru Morgan, A Quiet Place, Ethan Van and Eric Adai, again apologize, Roma, Sergio Diaz, and Skip Livesey.
All right, what do you think?
I am going for Black Panther. There will be a win somehow that night, but I thought that this one is going to be A Quiet Place is going to get sound editing.
Yeah, absolutely.
For this one, and I'm
absolutely.
like, well, actually, it kind of,
it
this
makes
could work.
Complete sense. Yeah.
So I feel like this one may actually grab the award that night.
Yeah, I am a full agreement that I think Quiet Place has this in the bag. I remember the theater experience really, really well. Everybody was walking on eggshells. Everyone was just super quiet, and no one wanted to make any noise. And so just that alone just shows you that how much it messes with sound. And so, I mean, obviously that's the premise of the movie, but, I think the editing here was really great because the movie was so silent.
Yes.
It was all nonverbals anyway. And so, yeah, I agree with that. And the movie I wanted to see win here is Roma, but honestly, like I said, I think it's going to go to Quiet Place.
Agreed.
So let's move on to another editing. Well, this time it's film editing. So we have Black Klansman, Barry Alexander Brown, Bohemian Rhapsody, John Ottman, Green Book, Patrick J. Don Vito, The Favorite, Yorgos, I'm going to have a hard time saying that last name. It's not Yorgos Lanthimos, but I guess a contemporary, and Vice, Hank Corwin. So for film editing, I actually picked Black Klansman is the one that I actually think will win here. I thought this movie was edited really, really well, and I honestly enjoyed all the bits to it, and it's actually the movie that I want to win. But the movie that I could possibly see it winning, or losing to, is actually The Favorite. And that's a movie that both Steven and I watched together, and we both enjoyed quite a bit, and I honestly thought that the editing in this was just really top-notch. So, what do you think?
Yeah, same picks. I want Black Klansman to win on this one, but I think it may go to The Favorite. If it loses to anything, it will be The Favorite.
Yeah, so that's a pretty even thing there. So, you want to go to the next one?
Yeah, let's do the next one. Now we're in the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film. The nominees are Capernaum from Lebanon, Cold War from Poland, Never Look Away from Germany, Roma from Mexico, and Shoplifters from Japan.
This one's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, Roma has the momentum. The wheels are turning, and it looks like the night will be good to this movie again for the Oscars.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's the most commercially accessible too. It being on Netflix is a really good move for this film. Although I did watch it in theaters and I was really excited and happy to see this in the big screen. I actually think that's the way to watch it. But you have access to it at home, and all these other films, a few of them are just coming to town now.
Yeah.
And that's what's so crazy about these movies, especially for an American audience. Obviously, this is one of my favorite little gem of a category because these are movies that aren't really talked about until the very end of the year, and a lot of these I always write them all down and try to catch up a little bit later. But Roma has the momentum, and that's the movie I think will win, the one that I want to win. and I really can't wait to look at all the other picks, though, and really explore those.
Agreed.
All right, now we're going to Best Live Action Short Film. This is probably one we're guessing on.
Yes.
We've done this before. Best Live Action Short Film and then Best Documentary Short Subject. We'll actually be really quick about these two. So for Best Live Action Short Film, Detainment, Vincent Lambe. Fauve, Jeremy Comte. Marguerite, Marianne Farley. Mother, Rodrigo Sorogoyen. And Skin, Guy Nativ. And these are just guesses for me. I'm just going to guess off the top of my head that Fauve is going to win this one, and that's the one I went to win. What do you think?
Okay, so with this one, have not seen any of the nominees, but I decided to choose based on trailer.
Okay,
so I watched the trailers just to try and figure it out. But so I went with Mother. I thought it was clever. It's based on a phone call apparently that takes place. Seems like it could be intriguing. I think it may go to Skin. That one had a lot of action and kind of a little bit of stuff that was relevant to today's issue. So I thought it could be a contender.
All right. Yeah, this is the complete blind. And we're going to do another category where we're blind again. Tell me the category.
All right, in this one we're looking at the nominees for Best Documentary Short Subject. And the nominees are Black Sheep, Ed Perkins, Endgame, Rob Epstein, and Jeffrey Friedman, Lifeboat, Sky Fitzgerald, A Night at the Garden, Marshall Curry, and Period, End of Sentence by Rakaya Zetapchi.
Yeah, we're bad at this. This is why. This is why you watch us, right? Mispronounce names. Okay, what do you think?
On this one, I went with, again, trailers. Just based off of trailers and looking. I think that Endgame could win on this one, and but I would like to see Period, End of Sentence win. It looked like a really interesting piece about gaining independence for women over in the country. I think this is happening in India, trying to take care of themselves, but also gain independence and do their own thing. It looked pretty interesting.
And just to make things spicy and kind of figure out how different we are, at least in this, even though I've not seen the trailers, he has. I'm going to go ahead and pick Black Sheep for my favorite.
That's good.
And then I'm going to pick A Night in the Garden for the one that I think will win. So let's just move on from there to a category that we know a little bit more about, but still probably not as enough that we need to know. Best Documentary Feature. We have Free Solo, Jimmy Chin, Elizabeth Chai, I'm going to say V, and then Hale County This Evening, Ramel Ross, Minding the Gap, Bing Liu, Fathers and Sons, Talal Durkee, and RBG, Betsy West, and Julian Cohen. Now, I have not seen any of these films. However, I've heard quite a bit of just talk on a few of them, especially Minding the Gap. And that's the movie. It's a skateboarding movie, I think, in Chicago, and just has this this culture that's really untapped in this modern age. I know it used to be a big thing in the 90s, and we could talk about mid-90s, which is a great movie, but is not really present in this award ceremony. But for documentaries, I think that's the one that I think will win, and the one that I want to win. So what do you think?
If anyone has ever seen one of those videos that someone shared on social media where someone's walking the tightrope and you get worried, and then you're with me, you want this movie Free Solo to win. I did trailers based on that alone.
I've heard a lot of good things about it.
It's one, and I think it's they're working with National Geographic is behind this in some way. But it looked really interesting, and it's one of those where you are just on edge, just seeing if this person is going to be able to accomplish what they're trying to. So that's my favorite. But I think it may go to RBG just because there's a movie out, and there's a full feature film, right, and the movie's at the same time. And then the documentary was kind of, I think it may have been released.
It was before this. It was before that
so
one.
It gained a little bit of buzz and interest.
On the Basis of Sex, which is the movie.
With On the Basis of Sex being out right now, so I think it may be the favorite to win. Yeah. No pun intended.
The favorite, yeah. So those are our picks for Best Documentary Feature. All right, let's move on to a category that I love, absolutely love. So what do you think? Let's give them the nominees here.
The nominees are this is for cinematography: Cold War, Lucas Zoll, The Favorite, Robbie Ryan, Never Look Away, Caleb Deschanel, Roma, Alfonso Cuarón, And A Star is Born, Matthew Libatique.
I think we're both in agreement. I can see what you have here. I think we're both talking about Roma. This movie is gorgeous.
Yes.
And Alfonso Cuarón knows how to wield the camera. He has just such great shots here. Anything else to add to that? I'm just blown away by it.
I am taking, I should say, a little bit longer with this movie, but I accessed it through Netflix, but we talked about being able to see it on screen. If you can see it on screen, go that route. Instead, it's better than on the TV, but regardless, it's a great movie. And from a cinematography point of view, I think it really is the strongest.
Yeah, there's particularly 5 scenes in this movie that I literally have burned in my mind. And it's because of the cinematography and then just the DP having this much control. So I'm definitely going to give it to Alfonso Cuarón here. I really love this movie. It's a very personal movie, it feels like, too. Okay, now we're going to move on to original screenplay. We have The Favorite, Deborah Davis, Tony McNamara. First Reformed, Paul Schrader. We have Green Book, Nick Vallelonga, Brian Curry, and Peter Farley. We have Roma, Alfonso Cuarón, and Vice, Adam McKay. Now, this is a movie that I am going to both pick for original screenplay as my favorite and the one I definitely think should win. And I'm really upset that this movie was not put in any other category. And that is First Reformed. This movie is
That's your favorite
one. That was my favorite movie of last year, and I know for a fact that all of the independent movie circuits are buzzing about this movie. And Paul Schrader is a big name. He wrote Taxi Driver. He has written Mishima and directed that film as well. And there's so much history behind Paul Schrader. And this movie it delved in something just so insane for Ethan Hawke. And I'm really upset about Ethan Hawke not being at the best actor category, because that was a performance of a lifetime. And I know I'm ranting about this, but I really, really want Paul Schrader to win this, because I don't think he's ever won an Oscar for anything, which is underrated and especially for something like this. And I know it's not a movie that everyone's seen, but it is a movie you definitely should see, and it's a movie I think will challenge your ways of thinking, and that's what I love about this movie. So, without me getting all that, Stephen, tell me about your picks.
I went with The Favorite on this one. I haven't seen First Reformed yet, but that was my favorite.
The favorite.
That was my favorite for this category, and but I think it could go to Roma again. But again, I have not seen First Reformed, and I don't think either Green Book or Vice will win in this category.
Yeah. And that's a stacked category right there, and I honestly, I think it could go a lot of directions. If I really didn't think that First Reformed would win, I would honestly probably pick Roma, because of just how naturalistic that film was, and it was just a really great screenplay.
Definitely.
So let's move on to another screenplay, adapted screenplay. Let me know about those.
Yeah, we have 5 nominees. They are The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Joel Coen and Ethan Coen, the Coen brothers. You have Black Klansman, Charlie Wachtel, David Rabinowitz, Kevin Wilmot, and Spike Lee. Can You Ever Forgive Me, Nicole Holofcener, and Jeff Whitty. If Beale Street Could Talk, Barry Jenkins, and A Star is Born, Eric Roth, Bradley Cooper, and Will Fetters. So before starting on this one, I marked 2 as the favorites. I had If Beale Street Could Talk and Black Klansman. For this one, adapted screenplay, I am going to go with If Beale Street Could Talk as my favorite between the 2. But I think if that one doesn't win and I lose out, it may be A Star is Born that wins on this one. It has a history there. It's a remake.
Of a remake.
Yeah, there's a long line there, yeah. So it could be a contender in this one.
I'm in the favorite with Steven here. Beale Street Could Talk is the movie that I think should win this category. Barry Jenkins wrote such an amazing screenplay with so many amazing actors and so many amazing moments in that film. And I was just in love with every one of those characters, except for maybe the mother of Fonny. and some of those characters. But other than that, there was, I think that Steven is correct. I think if it's not Beale Street, it's probably Star is Born, and it's definitely got a history and momentum behind it. So I definitely could see that possibly taking over as the Oscars as the actual pick.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to another category we don't really know too much about. There's a few categories we don't know much about, so we're guessing here. So we have animated short, we have Animal Behavior, Allison Snowden, David Fine. We have Bao, Dami Shi. We have Late Afternoon, Luis Bagnall. We have One Small Step, Andrew Chesworth and Bobby Pontilis. And we have Weekends, Trevor Jimenez. Now, I actually have seen Bao, because I believe that was in front of Incredibles 2. And it was a really strange, just a little, about like, I think an egg roll, or like some kind of ball that just kept eating itself, and it was just really, really weird. But I loved it though, and so that's the only one I really know, and so I guess I'm going to safely pick that one. What are your picks?
I did not watch the trailers for this category, so I am lost on this one. I randomly picked Weekend, Trevor Jimenez. I guess that it's good. I'm guessing that they're all good. Congratulations on the nominations.
Yeah, congratulations on the nomination. That's what the true winning is. Honestly, a lot of these movies, it's nice to be nominated, and that's what's great about it. All right, now we're talking about something that we actually care about. This is a big one, and I think I'm looking at both of ours, and I think both of us have the same idea. So we have animated feature. We have Incredibles 2 by Brad Bird, Isle of Dogs, Wes Anderson, Mirai, Mamoru Hosoda, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Rich Moore and Phil Johnston, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Bob Paraschetti, Peter Ramsey, and Rodney Rothman. So what is the pick that we both picked?
Spider-Man Into the Universe. It's great. If you have not seen it, please check it out. You'll be happy you did.
Yeah, I think... honestly, I really love this category. I'm not generally that happy about the Oscars all the time. I'm actually a little bit more excited about the Independent Spirits Award, which is the night before. I actually recorded a video last night with my friend Joey on the podcast, so we talked more about the Independent Spirits Awards, because that's the one I'm a little bit more for. When I was ranting about First Reformed, that's what I was talking about. But this one I talked a little bit about last night. Into the Spider-Verse, I'm really happy that this movie's here, because normally this is the one that always de facto goes to Disney Pixar. Always, always, always. It's like almost 100% guaranteed it will go to whatever Disney Pixar movie is there. And so Incredibles 2 I thought was going to just take it immediately. And now I am 100% confident that Spider-Man is going to conquer that and is going to beat it. And Incredibles 2 was a good movie. Honestly, I didn't like it as much. I think you're in the same boat.
Last time we were here, I was putting it as the front runner for that Golden Globe.
Yeah.
But things have changed. I checked out Spider-Man since then. Ralph Breaks the Internet. I thought both were good and have kind of momentum to win. But I am pulling the most for Spider-Man Into the Universe. I mean, just incredibly done. So many different types of people have just jumped on board, so you can see the wide reach that it has.
Yeah, and finally seeing Miles Morales instead of Peter Parker, which, I mean, obviously Peter Parker's there.
Yes.
But, we've already seen reboot after reboot after reboot of Spider-Man, and now it's refreshing to get Miles Morales up on there, and it's nice to see that. So I absolutely love that. All right, we have a big one next. I think Steven's going to take
All
this
right,
one.
we're getting into the larger kind of big-time categories here. And this is the Oscar for Director.
Mm-hmm.
The nominees are Spike Lee, Black Klansman, Pawlowski for Cold War, Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favorite, Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, and Adam McKay for Vice.
I think both of us are picking the same guy here. And who is that guy?
We are going for Spike Lee for Black Klansman. He has an entire history of great movies, but he's finally got that nod, and it's kind of feeling a little bit like the year when Leonardo DiCaprio finally got that Oscar. After so many people said, please, please, and I think that's kind of the same sentiment that we're having this time is please, please. He's worked so hard. He's very far along in his career, and at this age, even bringing us great masterpieces like Black Klansman, he deserves it.
Yeah, that's my favorite to pick as well. And I honestly think that Steven's right about the Academy finally giving him a chance for something that he's done. The other person that I think has a lot against him is Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. And this guy, he won back in 2013 for Gravity, and the Academy loves this guy. And, I mean, loves this guy. I mean, you can tell there's like 10 categories Roma's in, and Roma is a very independent film in my opinion, in my eyes. It's not for everybody. It's a film that I know a lot of people are probably, the first 10 minutes are going to, 20 minutes probably, just be like, I give up on this movie. And so that is saying something, that this movie is powerful. So I think Alfonso Cuarón has a very good chance of giving Spike Lee the run for his money. All right, for supporting actress, we have Amy Adams for Vice. We have Mariana de Tavara for Roma. We have Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk. And then we have two favorites here, Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz for The Favorite. Now, this is something that I'm really happy to see, but the person I want to win was Rachel Weisz, but I honestly think Regina King has this for If Beale Street Could Talk. So what do you think? Same.
I think Regina King is going to win, but I do love both nominees from The Favorite, but hoping Regina King takes it on this one.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to supporting actor. My battery's about to die, so that's why we're moving fast.
Supporting actor nominees: Mahershala Ali, Green Book; Adam Driver, Black Klansman; Sam Elliott, Star is Born; Richard E. Grant, Can You Ever Forgive Me; and Sam Rockwell for Vice. My pick is Adam Driver for Black Klansman. He's always great, and Sam Elliott, I think, could have a chance for A Star is Born.
And my picks are, I think Mahershala Ali should win for this one, and I honestly think it's either him or Adam Driver. So I honestly think that Mahershala might have it for the Oscars. Once again, he won Best Supporting Actor back when Moonlight hit, and so I think he's due for another one. I think he did really, really well in this movie, but those are really good picks. So sorry we're going so fast through this, but we're going next to our lead actress.
The nominees are Yalitza Aparicio for Roma, Glenn Close, The Wife, Olivia Colman, The Favorite, Lady Gaga for A Star is Born, and Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me. My favorite on this one is going to Lady Gaga for A Star is Born, but I think just like the Golden Globes, Olivia Colman may win for The Favorite.
Yep, I actually think Olivia Colman has this from the Academy standpoint, but I'm really happy, and my favorite who I'm pulling for is actually Yalitza Aparicio. I'm probably saying her name, I'm butchering it, but for Roma, I'm just really happy that she's here. Like, that is just, she's the first non-native speaker, I think, to get this. I may be wrong. You can definitely fact check me and tell me I'm wrong in the comment section, but I'm really excited to see her here. But I think Olivia Colman, riding off that back of the Golden Globe win, is a really good bet. And I really love that too, because she played a fantastic queen.
She was great.
All right, so let's go to lead actor. Now we have Christian Bale for Vice. We have Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born. We have Willem Dafoe for At Eternity's Gate. Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody. And Viggo Mortensen for Green Book. The person I think will win, who I want to win, I would like to see Bradley Cooper win for this one. Mainly because I feel like he put so much effort into this film. Obviously, he directed it, he starred in it, he just put so much work into this. Out of all of the people in that category, I think he's put the most work into it out of all of them. That's why I think he should win. But I honestly think it's going to go to Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody. I think that he has a strong performance here. I don't think Bohemian Rhapsody has a strong performance otherwise. But besides that, I think it's on Rami's back here. So what do you think?
I agree. I had a different choice. I was thinking Christian Bale may win for Vice because of as my favorite since he won last time. But I also think it could go to Rami Malek. I think because with this movie, Bohemian Rhapsody isn't going to have a night. Rami Malek may have a night, and those two are different.
Yeah, very different.
They're very different.
So let's move to the what we're looking for, the Best Picture. Give us the nominees, Stephen.
And the nominees for Best Picture are Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star is Born, and Vice.
I honestly think that a few of these movies don't really belong here personally, but we're not going to get too much into that because we don't have much time with this battery. So tell me, who's your favorite to win here?
Favorite, Black Panther. I want to see this happen. I am pulling for this, fingers crossed, until the night of the Oscars. I think Bohemian Rhapsody could win on this one. I don't believe it, but I see something happening weird here with the Oscars, and somehow it ends up winning.
All right. Well, Steven, I hate to disagree with you on some of these things, but who I want to win is Roma for this category, even though I honestly think it might have Best Foreign Language Film. So that's definitely not my official pick. My official pick, which I think the Academy will pick, is actually Green Book. I think this is a nice film that kind of brings the country a little bit more closer together, and I think that's what the Oscars is probably wanting to do a little bit more. So I think it's the safe pick to choose. But I definitely can see Black Panther taking something. I can definitely see Black Klansman being really huge here as well, and I can also just see a number of other things like A Star Is Born possibly taking this as well. But I honestly, it's a tight race. I honestly, once we get a little closer, I think we're gonna know a little bit more who's the favorite to win. And but my pick is Green Book.
And I think it was a great year for film in general. So we'll see, you know, lots of great categories, lots of great nominees.
All right, well, I want to thank Steven once again for coming on the channel and always just sharing his thoughts and opinions. And I always love having him here, especially doing these videos particularly.
Thank you for having me.
We love doing this, so thank you so much for checking this video out. Definitely disagree with us in the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts on the Oscars. I know it's not the best season. I think this is one of the weaker ones for me, just particularly for my interests. But if you haven't, check out the Independent Spirits Awards, which will be the night before, on Saturday the 23rd, I believe, and it's on IFC, so if you can get that somehow. But the Oscars will be on Sunday the next day, and it'll be through cable, so I'm sure everyone can see that. So, alright, give this video a like, comment down below, share this video, hit that subscription, and also that notification bell, and we'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.